The San Antonio Spurs 2025-26 season is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated campaigns in recent franchise history, and a large part of that excitement is being driven by the high-profile matchups that have been announced for the early stretch of the schedule. On opening night, October 22nd, they will host the Dallas Mavericks in a game that has all the makings of an instant classic. This isn't just any rivalry matchup, it's the first time the league's number 1 and number 2 draft picks will face each other on an NBA floor, with Dallas bringing in Cooper Flagg and San Antonio featuring Dylan Harper. Both players are expected to be cornerstones for their franchises, and their debut meeting is already generating national attention. The NBA's decision to schedule them on opening night isn't accidental. It's a deliberate attempt to capture the energy of the rookie hype, renew a Texas rivalry, and spotlight the next generation of stars for a primetime audience. For the Spurs, this game carries symbolic weight beyond the box score. The franchise has been in a slow rebuild ever since the end of the Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker era, with a focus on building around young talent like Victor Wembanyama. By adding Dylan Harper to that core, the Spurs are signaling their readiness to move from a developmental phase into a competitive push. Opening the season against a divisional rival that is also building around a generational talent provides an early benchmark. The coaching staff will see exactly how their young lineup stacks up against another team in a similar position. Hungry, talented, but still learning to win consistently. The narrative potential is huge, especially since both franchises have fan bases that are passionate and geographically close enough to feed a healthy rivalry. The individual matchup between Harper and Flagg will be scrutinized heavily. Harper is a dynamic guard with elite court vision, advanced ball handling, and a knack for scoring in tight situations. Flagg, meanwhile, is a versatile forward who plays with relentless energy, possesses an elite defensive motor, and has been compared to some of the best two-way players in league history. Their skill sets are vastly different, which makes the game even more compelling. It's not just a battle of equals, but a clash of contrasting styles. Analysts will be eager to see how each rookie adapts to the speed, physicality, and complexity of NBA basketball under the bright lights of opening night. Any standout moment, a highlight dunk, a clutch three-pointer, a defensive stop, will be replayed endlessly across social media and sports networks, cementing its place in early season narratives. The Spurs have the added benefit of beginning their campaign at home, which means Harper's introduction to the NBA will be accompanied by a raucous San Antonio crowd eager to usher in what they hope is a new era. The energy in the Frostbank Center will be electric, not just because of Harper, but because of the optimism surrounding the roster as a whole. Wembanyama's continued development, Devin Vassell's perimeter scoring, Keldon Johnson's versatility, and now Harper's playmaking all combine to form a team that is both young and exciting. Opening against Dallas also gives the Spurs an early chance to make a statement to the rest of the Western Conference. They may still be young, but they're ready to compete. Beyond the opener, the Spurs' inclusion in the NBA's marquee Christmas Day schedule is perhaps even more telling about the league's view of their marketability. For the second straight year, they will be playing on December 25th, but this time it's against the Oklahoma City Thunder in what could be one of the most skill-packed games of the holiday. The Thunder, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams, represent another young core that has risen quickly to relevance. In many ways, the Thunder are where the Spurs aspire to be in the near future. Not just a promising team, but one that is already a legitimate playoff contender. Facing them on such a massive stage will give San Antonio the chance to measure their progress against one of the West's fastest-growing powerhouses. The Christmas Day slot is reserved for teams and matchups the NBA believes will draw significant television ratings and global attention. That the Spurs have been chosen indicates how strongly the league believes in the combination of Wembanyama's international stardom and Harper's rookie intrigue. It's a sign that the NBA is invested in telling the Spurs story to a worldwide audience. The Thunder are a perfect foil in this sense. They are young, fast, and highly skilled, and their clash with the Spurs will be framed as a potential playoff preview for years to come. For San Antonio, playing on Christmas Day comes with unique challenges. They will be traveling to Oklahoma City, meaning they won't have the advantage of their home crowd. The Thunder's Paycom Center has developed a reputation for being one of the loudest and most energized arenas in the league, and the home team's fast-paced style can overwhelm opponents if they aren't prepared. The Spurs will need to lean on their defensive schemes to slow down OKC's transition game, and Harper's ability to handle pressure against a long, switch-heavy defense will be tested in front of a global audience. The timing of these matchups, opening night in October and Christmas Day in December, also frames the Spurs' early season narrative. In the 2 months between those games, they will have faced a variety of opponents, giving the coaching staff a chance to identify strengths and weaknesses before one of the season's most visible moments. If San Antonio comes into the Christmas game with a strong record, it will further validate their offseason moves and give them momentum heading into the new year. If they struggle, it could highlight the growing pains of integrating a top rookie into a still developing roster. Either way, the stakes will be high. There's also the personal development aspect for Harper. Playing on opening night is one thing, but being part of the Christmas Day showcase is another level of pressure. The NBA holiday games have historically historically been where stars make a name for themselves, whether it's a breakout performance, a game-winning shot, or simply showing the ability to perform under the brightest lights. Harper will have the opportunity to cement his status as a cornerstone for the Spurs' future if he rises to the occasion. For Wembanyama, these games are about solidifying his position as one of the league's most unguardable players and showing that his game has evolved since his rookie season. Strategically, these early marquee games also test the Spurs' depth and adaptability. Playing the Mavericks will require containing Luka Doncic in addition to handling Flag's debut, meaning defensive discipline will be paramount. The Christmas Day game against the Thunder will test their ability to play at different paces. OKC can run teams off the floor with speed, so the Spurs may need to control tempo and emphasize half-court execution. How San Antonio approaches these games tactically will offer clues about their overall identity for the season. The scheduling of these matchups speaks volumes about how the NBA views the Spurs' role in the broader league narrative. The league is clearly positioning them as one of the flagship franchises of the next era, much like they were in the Duncan years. Wembanyama's presence alone would justify some primetime slots, but pairing him with a high draft pick guard like Harper elevates the intrigue. It creates a dynamic similar to other great big man guard pairings in NBA history. Think Magic and Kareem, Stockton and Malone, or even Parker and Duncan within the Spurs' own legacy. Whether Harper and Wembanyama can reach that level is unknown, but the opportunity to showcase their chemistry early is invaluable. For fans, these games represent the culmination of years of patience. Spurs supporters have endured several seasons of losing, roster turnover, and gradual rebuilding. Now, they finally have a team that feels like it has a real path back to contention. The Mavericks game will be about pride and the promise of the future, while the Thunder game will be about proving they can hang with established young contenders. Each will be a litmus test in its own way, and how the Spurs respond will set the tone for how they are perceived throughout the league. The marketing implications are just as significant. The NBA knows that opening night and Christmas Day games drive merchandise sales, social media engagement, and international viewership. Wembanyama's popularity in France and across Europe ensures that Spurs games will be a global event, and Harper's rise could capture a domestic audience hungry for the next great American guard. The Mavericks bring in their own fan base and the star power of Doncic, while the Thunder's core is rapidly becoming one of the most likable and watchable groups in basketball. The result is two games that are almost guaranteed to be talked about well beyond the final buzzer. These matchups also have potential playoff implications. While it's far too early to determine seeding in October or December, games against Western Conference opponents can be crucial in tiebreaker scenarios come April. A win over Dallas or Oklahoma City early in the year could end up giving the Spurs an edge if the standings are tight. Conversely, losses in those games could serve as motivation for the rematches later in the season. Every detail, how Harper handles Flag, how Wembanyama matches up with Holmgren, how the Spurs bench responds to pressure, will be dissected by coaches and analysts. The broader storyline here is that the Spurs are being reintroduced to the national stage. The Duncan era cemented their reputation as one of the league's model franchises, but the years since his retirement have been quieter, with fewer big moments in the national spotlight. Now, between Wembanyama's arrival last year and Harper's debut this year, San Antonio has been thrust back into the conversation. The NBA's scheduling reflects not just faith in their star power, but a belief that they can deliver compelling basketball that resonates with fans across markets. In many ways, the 2025-26 season will be defined by these early tests. The Spurs' ability to compete in these games will shape perceptions of their rebuild success. A strong showing could accelerate expectations, while a poor performance might reinforce the idea that they're still a year or two away. Either way, the league has given them the stage, and now it's up to the players and coaching staff to deliver. The Mavericks game will showcase their readiness to face a rival with similar youthful ambition, while the Thunder game will measure their progress against a team already near the top of the conference. These moments are rare opportunities for a young team to make a lasting impression, and for the Spurs, the timing couldn't be more perfect.